Hello. Just gonna reframe this a little bit. Make sure y'all can see. Y'all, there's no one watching yet. Y'all, Rythmia is now live. Let's tune in, shall we? Let's see. One person hopping on. Perfect. Rythmia is now live. You can hear it. Hey, Dan Harris, welcome. Good to see you. All right. Let's see if I do it sideways. I cannot see comments, so I gotta have it this way. All right, let me know where you're watching from, Dan. I see more people hopping on here. I see lots of people hopping on here. I'm just gonna wait for more people to hop on. I've got my daughter in her little pack and play. She just finished her nap and her bottle. Terry Pearson is joining us. George Bell is joining us. I know where they're watching from. Terry watching from Ontario, Canada, as well as George. Dan is watching from the UK, so it's the evening, the late evening for you, isn't it, Dan? Yeah, Terry Pearson says, Mom's watching from Canada. I was just saying I've got my daughter. She just woke up from her nap. She's having a little snack. Hi, Digna. Where are you watching from, darling? Julia's saying hello from Manchester, England. Cool, cool. A lot of people watching from across the ocean. Rachel's watching from Florida, which is kind of across the ocean, up that way a little bit. But we're not an island, contrary to many people's beliefs. I'm coming to you live from Costa Rica, and we are not an island. We are bordered to the north by Nicaragua and to the south by Panama, Pacific Atlantic Ocean on either side, but we are not an island. Tracy's watching. Digna's watching from Costa Rica also. Dan says, I like the hair. Yeah, I guess I should have said something. George is saying, hey, Meg from Stony Creek, Ontario. Yeah, so I did a little something. Did a little something with my hair. Needed a change. I just needed a change. And I have actually, if you follow me on Instagram or my personal Facebook page, I shared that I was in a bit of a slump emotionally for the last couple of weeks. Just really starting to feel the weight of what's going on in the world and this, lengthy time we've had in this strange reality of isolation, quarantine, and just the uncertainty of it all. And I was feeling a little bit blue. And now I'm starting to come out of that. Thank goodness for my practice, my yoga meditation, and just really remembering what's important in life. That's been really, really helpful for me. I got away from that. I got really, really distracted trying to keep myself really busy over the course of the last few months here at home, and I lost myself a bit, so I came back. And I wanted to have a little bit extra, vavoom, pep in my step. So I did this fun little thing with my hair. It was totally spur of the moment. Yesterday I was just supposed to get it cut and dyed blonde again. And then we ended up with this. So I wore my unicorn earrings today because it's pretty much unicorn hair. My hairstylist Fabian used every color that she had in her kit to do my hair yesterday. What do you think about it, Levi?
I like it.
Levi, my partner, likes it. I like it, most importantly. So that's all that really matters. And it was interesting because yesterday in the mail, Kobe likes it. Kobe thinks it's the best ever. And in the mail yesterday, yeah, she's just sitting there having a snack right now. Yesterday in the mail, I received this gift for Kobe, a gift from me for Kobe, which I thought was perfectly fitting as far as the timing goes, her little unicorn toy, as well as several other things that you can probably see the mess of my fridge. So I have all these up here. These are glass magnets that have cute little sayings on them. Maybe I'll bring the camera over there and show you. Before we get into what we're doing here today. We are talking about back to school. I know that is today's theme. We're going to get to that in a second, but I thought, why not? You guys are in my home. I might as well show you what's going on. So I had all these cute magnets. Color your world, choose happy, dream, pineapples. Don't know yet. I'm obsessed with llamas and pineapples, but they were glass. So it was a bit dangerous for Kobe. So I went and got her these wooden alphabet letters, and she's been having a great time. As you can see, there are some on the floor because she's having such a great time with it. While we're over here, I might as well show you, we also went to the farmer's market this weekend, so I've got a well-stocked fridge, all of the amazing ingredients from our local organic providers, many of which we get the products for the Rythmia restaurant. So I actually got some asparagus, which is unheard of in this country, so I'm very excited about that. Goat milk yogurt, goat milk, that's what Kobe has. She doesn't drink any cow's milk right now. And just a lot of really amazing organic products. Not so much organic, but delicious nonetheless. Well-stocked fridge. We've got chard back there and kale and arugula. We've got bok choy. I've got some sunflower seed sprouts in here. Delicious. Apples and tangerines. I just boiled a bunch of eggs for the week. So we've got organic pastured eggs there. That's an empty produce container. And then down here we got all of our other amazing veggies. So very excited about the week ahead. We are fully stocked up. And if we were going back to school, then I'd have all the makings I would need for some lunches, but we're not going back to school. And I know a lot of people, even in North America, where it's typically, this is the back to school time, that's not happening because of what's going on in the world. But I thought I'd do a little bit of a talk about that because I know that my sisters, for example, are both teachers and they are going back into the school system this week. They have actually been for the last couple of weeks preparing. So let's see who else is hopping on here. Got lots of people watching. When you're just hopping on here, let me know where you're watching from. David says he's watching from Northeast Florida. I've got Joss watching from Amsterdam. Super cool. Where else? I've got lots of people hopping on here. Let me know, guys, where you're watching from. I'd love to hear it. Wow, the hair. Seeing my hair on this video. Jeez, Kobe thinks it's hilarious too. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Kobe, she gets my humor. She laughs whenever I make a silly joke. Jane is watching from Connecticut. Hi, Jane. Okay, so what else am I going to talk about? Okay, one other big amazing thing, and I think I might have talked about this before, but I finally got some more copies here. This is my newest cookbook. This is Food Fun with Meg. I have to say it's probably my prettiest cookbook I've ever created so far. Wouldn't you agree, Levi? He's seen all my books. This is my fourth one. I wrote this here in quarantine, and this book is a compilation of recipes that I've done right here on my Rythmia Lives over the course of the last several years. We've been doing these lives here since October 2017, you guys. Can you believe that? So these are all recipes that at some point I have shown you guys here on the Rythmia Facebook page, and it's just so pretty. My designer did such an amazing job. All the food photos are my own. A lot of them taken from the recipes that I did here. Actually, like this, for example, I remember specifically the day that I made this. Outside Rythmia, by the pool, in my outdoor kitchen, I made this particular meal for Facebook. So I'm excited about it. Like, look at how pretty it is. It's just the prettiest cookbook. So I just wanted to show you guys that. We're going to be making this one night this week here at my house. This is my cauliflower banh mi, which I did on a Facebook Live back when I was pregnant, I believe, or maybe it was before that. My sunflower seed cookies. This is a recipe that I made these are a keto recipe that I made when I was home in Canada last year visiting my mom. Grain-free apple crisp. You might remember this is something I did on my All About Apples recipe here during quarantine. So that was back in my last condo before I moved into the house. My favorite banana bread recipe. Look at this, so pretty. Pancakes. Food Fun with Meg. Photo credit to my dear friend Stefan, one of our Rythmia team members. He took these amazing pictures of me back at the beginning of quarantine, so I was super excited to be able to use that. So we called it Food Fun with Meg because these are all just the fun, silly recipes that I've been showing you guys here on my Facebook Lives. The recipes that I love to cook, the recipes that I do all the time here at home. A lot of these are recipes that we cook here for my family. So I'm excited to share that with you guys. It's available on Amazon. Myra's watching from Las Vegas. Jane says my sister loves the first cookbook so much. I'm wondering, is that the first Rythmia one, Miracle Meals? Because I actually wrote my first book called Map Wellness Morsels in 2013, and so that was my first one. And then I had Miracle Meals, which was my first Rythmia book, written in 2017. Miracle Meals 2.0, Sauces and Sweets, which I wrote. We published that one when I was pregnant, so that was late 2018, early 2019, and now Food Fun with Meg in 2020. And I've got enough content to do another whole cookbook. I'm just going to take my time because I've been hustling with in the book department. Tony's watching from Laval, Quebec. Shanaz is watching from Washington, D.C. I apologize to anyone if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. Maiku is saying, hair! Yeah, my hair. I just saw Maiku the other day and my hair did not, yeah, Kobe thinks it's amazing. Did not have hair like this a few days ago. This is brand new as of yesterday and I'm loving it. Sista Woot looks amazing, says Maiku. Thank you, my love. Thank you, thank you. I'm just still getting used to it. I have to rethink my wardrobe, I think, and all my makeup, because this is just so much now that I can't be all too crazy everywhere else, or it just gets to be too much. But this color is probably going to fade in the next few weeks, and it's not going to be so in my face. Deanna says it's fabulous. Well, thank you. All right, so back to school. I mean, what's to say other than it's weird time? Back to school right now is not the same as it used to be. Traditionally, there's just so many different ways that kids are going back to school, whether they're just reconnecting online to either do virtual schooling or homeschool. I know a lot more people are doing homeschool with their kids, just in general, but ever since what's gone down with COVID, that's become a bit more of a normal for a lot of my friend families. And then regular back to school. So I just ordered this thing. This is a great little one of those bento box type of stackable snack containers. This is going to be come in really handy with Kobe and I when we travel. We're hoping to do some traveling in the next couple of weeks. But I wanted to show you some of my favorite easy snacks that I know have been hit with children in my life in the last recent times. I have a cookie here in the dehydrator that I was warming up for Kobe that I'm going to actually, gotta let it cool off a bit. So I've got my food dehydrator going here, and I use this when I want to bulk prepare snacks. Because what is food dehydrating? It is one of the most ancient forms of food preservation, right? So back before we had the amazing refrigerator systems that we have now, what did we do to preserve food? We fermented them. We, doing various different fermentation, using salt, to cure things. We cured meats and things like that to preserve them. We froze them in the winters. We just buried things in the snow, and we dehydrated things. And typically, we would just be dehydrating them sometimes with smoke, or just letting herbs hang upside down and things like that. Now we have the technology of these amazing food dehydrator machines that I have been using for years. I've done many Facebook Lives featuring dehydrator recipes. So I'm going to show you a couple of things that I like to do with my dehydrator. So the first thing I'm actually going to show you guys this is one of my favorite back to school snacks. This is going to be a back to travel snack, so I'm going to save this and use it when Kobe and I travel in a couple of weeks. But this is a homemade fruit roll-up. Fruit leather. Don't want to use the brand name. I just did. But fruit leathers. I remember growing up, I used to love having fruit leathers. My mom didn't buy them for us very often, I don't think. Did you, Mom? I don't remember having them in our packed lunches, but I used to have them as treats and have them with my friends. So fruit leathers, what are they? They're just fruits that are dehydrated into some sort of leather. So I'm going to show you guys, what am I going to use? I'm going to use this plum. I'm going to start with just a variety of fruit. I have lots of fruit in my fridge right now. I bought so much at the organic market that things go bad quickly here in Costa Rica, so this is one way that I can use it and stretch it. So I've got a whole plum here. I'm just going to cut the pit out and toss that in. I usually like to use an apple for the pectin when I'm doing these types of fruit leathers, but today I'm going to just use plum and some berries because that's what I have a plethora of. I have a plethora of plums and berries. Toss that in my compost bin. And what I've already gone ahead and done before we joined here today is washed some other fruits here. So I've got some awesome blueberries and some organic strawberries, probably about 2 cups worth. I'm going to toss those I'm tossing them into my blender here. Let me show you guys. I'm going to pull this camera out a bit so you guys can see a bit more. You can see my light. There we go. There we go. Let's see, is that going to cut my head off? Doing my own camera work here. Let's see. I'm on a bit of a delay. Look at all the people hopping on here. If there's anyone that you think could use some food inspiration this Sunday, please share this video. All right, it looks like you guys can see me well enough. So what do I have in here? I've got about 2 cups of berries, blueberries and strawberries, and 1 plum. To that, I'm going to add the juice of, I've got a half of a lime here. Ideally, you would use a whole lime or a lemon, but this is what I have handy, and I'm not going to stress too much about it. And Levi eats me out of house and home when it comes to limes. So, he drinks Levi, my partner, probably eats 2 limes a day. Just putting them into his waters, his club soda, his regular water. So I don't want to go using up all the limes on them. So I've got a juice of half a lime. I would like to use a bit more. And I'm going to add some good old Canadian maple syrup. Because these berries here in Costa Rica, because this is not the climate for berries, let's be honest. They're not the sweetest. They don't become as sweet as if like the strawberries I remember growing up in Canada. And that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put that in my blender and I'm just gonna blend. So plug your ears for a second, my friends. Oh, I gotta plug the blender back in because I had to unplug it. Actually, unplug the food dehydrator to plug the blender in here. Here we go. Tablespoon of chia seeds just for a little extra nutrition, and it actually helps hold the leather together really well, but I'm not going to worry about that today. So what I've got here is my food dehydrator sheet. So I've got this food dehydrator, and dehydrators typically always come with these trays. So what it is a tray, some sort of usually a mesh or a metal kind of screen, and then typically what you have to buy separately is a non-stick. So these are just non-stick sheets that I use for whenever I'm doing things like cookies or fruit leathers and stuff like that. So you can see I've blended up my fruit. This is like the easiest recipe in the world. I'm gonna grab a spatula so I can scrape all this goodness because I do not want to lose a drop. I'm gonna scrape this fruit out. You can smell it. I can actually smell the maple syrup in that also. So good. Now I just made a batch of this last night. It works really quick, so just one night overnight, and it was done, and I'll show you that product in a second. So I'm just scraping all my berries down the sides here so I can make sure I get it all. Hey everybody that's hopping on here, let me know where you're watching from. So then I'm gonna just take this, I'm gonna pour it onto my sheet here. I'm not gonna pour it all. So you can see it's pretty thick, and I'm just gonna kind of move it around to just thin it out, spread it out to about so. And then I'm gonna put it into my food dehydrator. And then I would just let that go overnight. I do about 130 degrees. You could do, I mean, it's up to you, however strict you want to be about it, how raw it is. If you're a real serious raw foodist, they typically say never any hotter than 118 degrees Fahrenheit, but I like to do things around 130. George says, your hair and your smile made my day. Aw, thanks, George. The hair makes my day every time I walk by the mirror. I keep forgetting that I've done it, and then I'm like, whoa. So, what's the final product gonna look like after about 24 hours? Not even? No, like probably about 12 to 15 hours at 130. This delicious fruit leather. Dun, dun, dun. Easy peasy, completely dried out. Rolls up just like the old fruit leather that you used to buy in packages. What I typically like to do is I'll put a piece of wax paper, not wax paper, but beeswax paper, for example. It's a great piece. Let me see if I have a small one available here. They have all of these. These are reusable wrappers instead of using saran wrap or something like that. But I would use this as if you would use a wax paper, or if you were to buy these, they typically come with wax paper. See what I'm doing? So I've put that on top. And then you can just roll this up so it's not going to stick to itself. That wax paper is going to keep it from sticking, and then you have this awesome roll that you can cut into as many pieces as you want. I'm going to cut it into several. You guys see what I'm doing? Yeah. One. Oh shit, no, I have the wax. I don't want to cut my wax paper. Shh. Sorry guys, I'm a little bit brain dead. I'm not going to cut it. I'm going to just keep it long and stick it into a jar for storage. If I didn't have my wax paper in there, if I used like parchment paper or something, I would slice it up. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. Brain dead, mom brain. So there we go. That is that. So what I'm going to do real quick here, I'll do that after. I have a bit more here in my blender that I got to put in the food dehydrator. Okay, my next favorite little snack that I like to do that is super easy and Kobe loves it is the easiest thing in the world. So this is yogurt bark. Not the best for packing for snacks because it is frozen, but delicious. How pretty that is. Delicious for after school snacks and even breakfast because it's super healthy. This is goat milk yogurt that I've mixed with a bit of maple syrup. Then I've just spread it out on this cookie sheet with some parchment paper. And on this side I have a gluten-free cereal mix with some goji berries and cacao nibs. And then on this half I've just done some desiccated coconut and some sprinkles because I'm all about the unicorn theme right now. And then to use this, you just break it off in pieces and serve it. So then you have these delicious unicorn yogurt bites. And it tastes kind of like cheesecake, frozen, because the sweetness of the maple syrup with that goat milk yogurt, and then a little bit of extra sweetness from the sprinkles, and I just use cake sprinkles. It tastes like a cheesecake. So good. So now I'll just break that up, store it in a glass container in the freezer. Easy, super easy, cheap, and delicious little snack to have in the freezer at all times. I always have little snacks. That's where I got this cookie from. It was from the freezer today. Whenever I make cookies or muffins or energy balls or these types of things, I always make extra and then just keep them in the freezer so that they're quick and easy snacks for after nap or after school snacks. So a couple of other quick things I wanted to show you guys. Two of my favorite recipes for the dehydrator since I had it out and I had it running, and these are great snacks and these will pack well for lunches also. So I think I've done this cracker recipe here on Facebook Live before. This is my chia flax cracks. This is a recipe that I started creating and using at one of the other hotels that I was working at years ago. All this was chia seeds, ground flax seed, sesame seed, and sunflower seed. I put in a bit of cumin and curry powder and some water, stirred it up in a bowl, laid it out on one of these non-stick sheets, just like I did with the fruit roll-up. Let it dehydrate overnight. And then it's like those rustic crackers that you can buy in the specialty section of the grocery store. So you just break them off into little pieces and you have these amazing, savory, super high fiber, plant protein rich crackers that pack really well in your lunchbox. And to go along with it, I created another couple of batches of my most favorite vegan cheese recipe. I think I did this on the video on the Facebook Live a couple of years ago. This is a sunflower seed cheese. Now this is a cheese that one of the big raw food gurus, I don't know which raw food book and or raw food retreat center of the world really started making this cheese. But this is a version of it, and you slice it up. It's soft in the middle, it's crusty on the outside, kind of like a camembert, but not at all, because it's not. It's made of seeds. But this is a really easy recipe, and it's just sunflower seeds in the food processor with some sesame seeds, some soya sauce, tamari, or gluten-free. You can use gluten-free tamari. I put in some garlic and a bit of lemon juice. I blended all that up so the sunflower seeds really break down in the food processor and become a bit of a paste, whereas the sesame seeds stay whole, so that's really cool for texture, as well as the sesame seeds are a good source of calcium. Process it up, roll it into a ball, flatten it out just into this exact same shape, and then I dehydrated it. And I only did this morning. So this cracker recipe and these cheese, can you hear that? It's really quite firm. I've only had it in the dehydrator since about 8 o'clock this morning, and they're ready to go. I could dehydrate it even longer so that it becomes dry all throughout, so then it'll be pretty shelf stable. Right now with the moisture, I'm gonna keep it in the refrigerator. But this is a really great nut-free recipe. If your school still allows, seeds, there's no nuts in this. And it's a great little snack, and it's good crumbled onto salads. It's great served with crackers. It's great served, an apple with a couple pieces of this. Cheese is a really great little, snack. You can put your crackers in a bento, some cheese, some fresh berries, and then whatever, that could be your kid's snack. Then you pack them their lunch on the side. So this is one of my favorite recipes. It's in one of the cheese videos that I did back in, I think, 2018, but I can post the recipe in the comments if any of you guys want it. Just let me know if any of you guys want that. I can post the recipe. Really, really, really easy. Again, if you don't have a food processor, I always get that question. You can do a lot of this in the oven. A lot of ovens these days have a dehydrator setting, so you could always check that to see if your oven has that. Otherwise, Just low and slow in your oven is fine. Most ovens go to as low as 200 degrees Fahrenheit. So you're not going to be doing 100% raw. You're going to be killing off some enzymes, but who cares? It's convenient. As long as you're going to be home and you can supervise, I would suggest just try all of these recipes in your oven. I know the fruit leather works in the oven. I've done that several times myself, so try that out also. Kristen says she would love the recipe. Okay, so I'll post the cheese, and I'll post all the recipes in the comments here so that you guys can try that. If you feel like doing some meal prep, Sundays are a great day. I call them, it's my meal prep day, so doing these kinds of recipes. And then we have them ready for the week. So I don't think there's anything else I wanted to share with you guys today. Just a little bit of foodspiration. I want to wish all of the children out there and the parents happy back to school, whatever that means to you. Hopefully you can find a new version of a routine that works for you guys. I know that these times are still really, really unprecedented, and nothing is really ever going to be back to the normal as we knew it, but we just need to soften and lean into what is and just allow for whatever will be, because there's one thing we have no control over, and that is time passing and what's going on around us. We can only control our reaction to it, so let's just be as peaceful as we can and surrender to the flow. All right, until next week, you guys. Next week, I'm going to be having another little talk. I think I've titled it Sat Nam, talking about our truth. So tune in for that. I will not be in the kitchen, but I will have hopefully some inspiring words to share with you guys. Just things that I've come up across on my journey, that I know hopefully will be able to relate to some of you on your journey. Have a beautiful week. Happy back to school. Happy September. And I'll see you guys next week. Mwah. Ciao.